All right. Well, I think I've been pretty neglectful in making a video blog for Hiroshima. Um, Truth is, when I got in the first night to Hiroshima and I had my own room, I just I took the opportunity to get some actual sleep in. Um, I think I was averaging about 4 hours a night since getting to Japan. Um, just from staying up talking to guests, and then getting up early to go do all the sightseeing. So when I got to Hiroshima and I had my own room, I just zonked out, and woke up and went for a walk along the riverbank out here. There's a few rivers. I'm not sure exactly which one I was walking along, but it was pretty pleasant. But it was dark, so pictures and video were sort of out of the question. Um, I also went out and tried to find a place to have a drink, and I got recommended a bar by the person who works at the front desk here, and I went out and tried it, and I mean it was okay, but for as busy as Hiroshima is, that bar was really dead. I think there was one guy there and then a couple at the other end of the bar, and that was pretty well it. Outside of over in the restaurant area, there was a group of like salarymen and salarywomen congregated having some food. But other than that, it was pretty dead. And I mean, it was nice because I was tired even after the nap, and it was more of a relaxed feeling. But I don't know. I kind of was looking forward to seeing like the more wild side of Hiroshima, I guess. Um, yeah, so that's really all I did that night. I went and kind of walked around a bit. I got lost a bit. Um, the map that I was given is just useless, really. I mean, it doesn't say the street names typically, and the ones that are labeled aren't helpful either because they don't really label the streets very well here. So they put sort of landmarks at each block, but at night I couldn't read any of the signs for the buildings they had marked. So yeah, I got a bit lost, but that's all right. I mean, that's how you see the city. And I met a couple of old women who I was asking where I was at. I showed them the map, and I'm like, all right, where am I on here? And they said my map wasn't big enough to show where I was because apparently I'd walked outside of the boundaries of the map. They offered to drive me where I was going in their car, but gas out here is pretty expensive, and I didn't really want to take advantage of their hospitality and use up their gas driving me just because I couldn't read a map. So I had them put me in the direction that I needed to go, and I just walked. But it was very nice of them to offer. I found after I went to the bar that was recommended to me, it's called Kemby's. After I went to Kemby's, I kind of walked around because I knew that there was supposed to be an area, I don't know how to describe it, probably kind of like Georgetown, I suppose, where along a street there's just all kinds of bars and restaurants, and that's really what I wanted to find. And it was on the map, but again, that map is pretty useless. I did end up finding it too late because I don't want to spend a bunch of money on going out drinking and stuff. But I walked the neighborhood, and it was pretty crazy. I mean, people dress up in weird outfits, and the Japanese people in general put a lot of emphasis on style, at least when they're young and they haven't become salary people, or it's the weekend or they're off or whatever, then they dress up. But I'd say that they're a lot more into fashion than people in the U.S. Everyone out here has some sort of style, I don't know how to explain it, but nothing is just sort of like jeans and a t-shirt, really. I mean, the people here always have some sort of accessory or whatever, and when you go to that little area that's sort of like Georgetown, it's even 10 times that. I mean, people are really decked out for the night. And the bars around there, I mean, there were a few nice ones, but for the most part, they just looked like bars. So I don't know. I guess they get dressed up to go to the bars, or maybe they were going to some of the nicer ones that I didn't really get to peek into, because a lot of them are upstairs. And then today, you'll see a lot of video of my trip to Miyajima Island and Miyajima Shrine. So I won't go into too much detail, but as you'll see or have seen already, it was a bit of a disappointment because the actual gate was covered up with scaffolding and like netting and stuff, probably to provide shade for the workers when they're up there doing restoration or whatever it is they're doing. I told the front desk lady about it, and she was like, wow, I was just there last month and it was fine. So apparently I'm a little bit too late to see it without construction, but that's okay. Oh, and if you have not watched the video that I titled, "Oh my God, I was dying laughing," you really, really need to watch it. I won't go into what it is, but I will tell you about my own reaction to seeing it. I couldn't stop laughing. You know, the more I thought about it, the more I was laughing, and I was in tears, and people were starting to look at me, and I felt so bad. I was trying to stop laughing, but I just couldn't. And then I would think about the idea that I actually managed to catch it on video, and that would make me laugh even more, because what are the chances? I mean, that 15 seconds after I start taping, that it happens, you know. Anyway, it was good timing for once. Typically I've got bad timing and I miss things or whatever, but in this instance I had great timing, and oh my gosh, I kept chuckling, and I could see the Japanese people around me were trying not to laugh too, and most of them were having much more success than I was. Oh God, yeah. I really did. I had tears in my eyes at that, because I guess I will kind of spoil it. So you can stop now if you haven't watched the video and go watch it, and then come back to this blog. But I'll give you a second. All right. So essentially, I get on the street tram, and there are about 20 school kids. And when I say school kids, I mean like they're probably in preschool or kindergarten. It's more a matter of babysitting, I think, than actual school. And I can tell they've just come back from some sort of, or they're on their way back from some sort of field trip, because some of the kids have like dirt on their knees, and they are all so tired. I mean, several kids were kind of nodding off in their seats. But this one girl in particular, she really was struggling. I mean, she would keep nodding off, and then she'd wake up and be like, oh, you know, what happened? And then over and over she would do that. And the teacher or the babysitter, whoever, every so often would kind of reach over and give her shoulder a shake when she wouldn't wake up on her own. And so I thought it was just really funny, you know, in and of itself. Just that was funny. So I got my phone out, and I was taking a little video to show everyone, because her eyes were like doing this thing where they rolled up into her head as she was trying to stay awake, and then her eyes would just kind of flutter and then sink down, and then she would start to like lean forward, and her head would touch her, or her chin would touch her chest, and she would wake up, or the woman would kind of give her a nod or a push and say, hey, wake up. So anyway, I got my phone out, and I start to record, and I'm waiting because she's awake, and then I see the eye thing start to happen. She kind of wakes up, and then it happens again, and I'm kind of chuckling to myself. I finally am getting her doing this nodding off thing on the bus, and it was kind of a mixture of cute and funny. And then she went out like a light, and this time, instead of leaning a little bit forward and then more to the side and kind of bumping into the kid next to her, she leaned forward and just fell right onto the floor. I mean, and she didn't wake up until she hit the floor. I immediately turned off the phone and reached down to try to help her, but the lady who was watching the kids saw it happen too, and so she scooped her up, and actually she spent a lot more time nudging that girl to make sure she didn't fall asleep again. And oh God, and I was dying. I was trying not to laugh, but yeah, it was a big fail. I was laughing a lot, and I had tears, and my stomach hurt, and oh, it was terrible. I think I gave Americans a bad name today. Oh, but that was actually one of the highlights of my trip. That little spill she took. All right, well, spoiler over. So I got to Miyajima Island and tried to see the shrine. It was covered, and I did a hike, which was fun. And yeah, I'm not gonna go into too much detail with the hike because there's a lot of video of that. But I do realize that I haven't taken any pictures or anything of my room, which I'm pretty pleased with. But I'll show you the exception when I get there, which won't take long. Okay. So this is a little desk. Let me get over here. All right, so I'm essentially standing with the door at my back. So I've kind of lined up my shoes and bag to be out of the way as much as possible. This is the bathroom door. Control panel for various items. I'm kind of sink washing clothes and stuff, and then kind of hang drying here. Again, desk area, outlet, and then bed. That's basically the whole room. It's pretty tiny, but it's really nice to have my own space. Alright, with the bathroom. Again, the Japanese love their trip hazards, so you have to step up into the bathroom. Let me hit the other light. Oops. What the heck is that thing? Maybe it's this. I think it's that. Alright. So, sink area. It's pretty deep, which is why I've been doing some clothes washing. Got a shirt here hanging to dry. Trash can, which is unusual because typically they've got like 14 trash cans and you have to separate everything out. Yeah, the laundry thing is because I'm spending so much money on every freaking thing here that if I can hand wash it in the sink and then dry it, I'm going to. Just using a bar of soap. This toilet is actually pretty nifty. And it comes with an instruction guide because there's a bunch of buttons that go with it. It's always heated. Well, you don't need to see inside the toilet if you don't want to, but the seat is heated. And it's also a bidet. So this thing controls all the streams and how powerful of a jet you want and so forth. How wide of a jet or narrow of a jet. And this is the shower. Now this is the huge disappointment. Oh, I'm knocking things over. Alright. If you look at this shower, it seems pretty nice. You know, I mean, this is a big size shower for Japan. Believe it or not. The issue I have is the operation of this shower. Do you see this piece here? This is how you turn it on. And it only stays on for 14 seconds, and then you have to push it again. Now, it's not an exact measurement. I just kind of went 1, 2, 3 to see how long on average a thing would stay on. It's 14 seconds. It's like one of those stupid hand washing faucets that you have to keep pushing to turn on. The water heat is actually great, which is much better than Kyoto, which was freezing all the time. The water pressure is wonderful. The only issue is that it won't stay on. So I'm thinking of buying some rubber bands or something, but they'll probably cost me $10. So I might just be stuck pushing the button over and over. Yeah, anyway, it's really friggin' annoying to have to keep pushing the button to continue my shower. I mean, there's a lot of places to save energy and water, but I doubt anyone's going to forget to turn off a shower, to be honest. Alright. Well, that's it for this particular video blog. I guess I can show you my view out the window. I don't think it's anything special. I think it's like the next building over or something. Can I operate this? I don't think I know how to operate it. There we go. Yeah. I mean, it's just to move some apartments. There's a balcony out there, but I can't get to it. I think there's too much light in the room anyway to see out the window. But it's not really anything worth seeing. Alright. Well, talk to you guys later.